I just finished watching the episode 4 and let me tell you, I'm hooked. Welcome back guys, in today's video we're going to go through episodes 3 and 4 of The King Eternal Monarch K-drama. These two episodes were quite a ride, to say the least. Remember that cute police officer? Well, turns out he goes way back with Lieutenant Yeong Tae-eul. He joined her father's taekwondo club because of her and has had a crush on her for ages. Also, his mother was the daughter of a wealthy family, but now she's a gambling addict that threw that family's fortune down the drain. Speaking of families, the Prime Minister Koo actually comes from an ordinary working-class family, and I might have to eat up my hate towards her from my last video. She is unpleasant, but she really does know how to use her words and has some pretty noble views in politics. She seems like the type that comes from and fights for the people, not bourgeoisie, so maybe that's where her big attitude towards everyone at the court comes from. The Evil Mastermind is at it again. It's what you may ask? We don't know yet, but judging from the army of followers he's gathering, a woman he has locked up, the second half of Manpashik joke built into his umbrella that he always carries around, the fact that he has a spy at the royal court, and that he figured out the king found out about the portal, some hell is going to rise for sure. How did he find out though? Whenever someone goes through the portal, time stops, and with it stops everything and everyone besides the one who used it before. I guess, still not clear on that one. Anyways, combine that fact with the messages his source from the court left him, and there you have it. Another side effect from using the portal, at least on the king, is this burning flashy thingy that appears on his shoulder when there's a thunderstorm. In the past week, we were also introduced to a new addition to the officers' police squad, this seemingly rough and problematic big guy that's actually the biggest softie in this whole drama. He's so sweet, you have to love him. Do you know what I also love? The relationship between the king and the officer. Now remember where we left off at the end of the episode 2. The whole marry me situation? Well, of course, nothing came out of it besides some great analogy between the officer and the number 0, a cute "you're cold so here's my jacket" scene, and thus finding out some badass reasoning behind the officer's decision to become a policewoman. I have to write this quote down. Looking back on my previous video on this drama, I cannot believe I kept on rambling about murders, portals and parallel universes and failed to mention the romance part of this series. So many cute scenes, wordplay, tension and chemistry between those two. We also have Captain Joe and this girl that just started working at the court that I can see some feelings developing between in the future. On his side, she's already a major fangirl. That's one course of action, but if the writers decide to go for some Captain Joe, King Lee Gon bromance, I'll have no complaints at all. The life in the Republic of Korea went on as usual, the king telling the truth, the officer not believing it and acting like a tsundere, yada yada yada. We did get to see some Minhuish jelly moments as well as some badass fighting scenes where both him and her flexed their martial arts skills. Who was trying to beat him up? Well, not them, but Detective Shinjae. Those hooligans were his old classmates that are mad cause he arrested them a few years ago. Talk about holding grudges. Speaking of arresting, the guy behind that murder that's been unfolding in the background of the drama seems to be found, but Tae-eul is not convinced. She thinks he's being framed and is working her ass off trying to find out who is really responsible. For now, we have her gut feeling and some voice recordings from a phone she found. The king went back to his world for a bit, got scolded by the court lady and the unbreakable sword aka Captain Joe, and paid a visit to his uncle I believe, but don't quote me on that, aka the prince that was carrying the royal duty for him when he was a young king. Minhu is questioning his loyalty and I was like, what? Look at this nice smiley old man that looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. Are you sure? But when the king mentioned his suspicions to him and gave him the autopsy report of Lirim's alleged death, his reaction got me thinking that he really is a traitor. What do you think is cooking here? Back to the Republic of Korea, the officer really isn't handling the king's absence well. One might even say she's missing him, but she wasn't actually bored doing nothing, remembering the memories and wishing he were there. There was some of that, but more so her going through everything he said about that parallel universe theory, trying to learn more about it and finding evidence that he's been telling the truth all along. Like the fact that the money with his face on it was 100% real. You know how her ID card and the ID card issued on November 11th that the king has look different? Well, she lost her ID card and had to get her a new one, and oh my god, would you look at this, for her new ID card she tied her hair up, wore a navy blazer, and the new card was issued on 11th of November 2019. What a shocker. To her it was quite a big one, especially when the king appeared again in the Republic of Korea on November 11th out of nowhere and described her new picture perfectly. And what was the logical response to that? Sure, I will climb on your white horse and have you holding me tight while we ride through the city night to the bamboo forest and jump through a magical portal to the other universe of which you're a king, and then look deeply into your eyes, creating a crazy amount of tension between us while your royal guards are watching us. Funny storytelling aside, this was one hell of a great ending, and I can't wait to see where will this drama take us next and what will happen now that the officer is in the Kingdom of Korea. That's it guys, hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did watching these episodes. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below for more KNC related content, and be sure to join me next week for the review of episodes 5 and 6. Till next time, bye!